you're not staying close to God during that tribulation period and on your knees and reading the Bible, you will be pulled in. So here's the problem. If you worship the Antichrist and you join in league with him, your soul is damned forever. If you do not join the Antichrist, then your head is going to be taken. You will most likely be imprisoned, tortured, and then beheaded. That's what the Word says. Then you have another problem. If you do not worship the beast or the image, then you're going to be killed. If you do worship him, then your soul is damned forever. Then you have another problem. If you do not receive the mark of the beast in your forehead or in your right hand, you cannot buy, nor you cannot sell. The Bible said that means the rich and the poor, the great and the small, the free and the bond. It will involve every person on this planet, that this network of governmental agencies run by Antichrist will reach into every corner of the globe, and no man, the Bible said, the false prophet will institute it. No man will buy or sell. You go into the store, you say, I want to buy a loaf of bread. Suddenly you have a new storekeeper. Or maybe it's the same one, but he now is different. He says to you, what is it? What do you want? Bread. Here it is. Well, let me see the mark. That's what the Bible said. Read it. Revelation 13. He says, let's see the mark. What mark? Well, don't you know the new rules handed down by the government agency? You can't just come in here and buy anything anymore. You've got to receive the mark. What mark? Well, let's see. It's got to be in the forehead or in the right hand. Well, I'm not going to do that. And then you know why, though you don't tell him. So you go back and you think, well, I'll scrounge around. I'll find a few things. I'll grow some tomatoes. Maybe I've still got something I've canned. And pretty soon you keep going and going until you're out of food, and births will take place and marriages will take place during the tribulation period, and children will be born. So suddenly you've received Christ and you've said, I'm not going to join the league of the Antichrist. I'm not going to live under the power of Antichrist. I'm not going to take the mark. I'm not going to worship the image. But then one day your child comes up to you and says, Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I have nothing to eat. Daddy, there's nothing here to eat. Please help me. I'm starving. So you go back to the store and you try to appeal to this man, and hope that he will listen, and hope that he will pay attention, and hope that he will just see through all of this and maybe make an exception on your behalf. But here's the one thing you must understand. He's not going to be touched by your sob story. He doesn't care that your child is starving to death. He doesn't care that you need medicine from the drugstore, that your baby is burning up with fever. He doesn't hear you anymore with the ear of compassion. Do you know why? Because he is a government agent. He is demonized by the power of hell. The agency has now gone into every part of the world, and it controls everything that touches every mankind. And suddenly there is madness upon the earth. You cannot buy, you cannot sell, you cannot eat, you cannot have gas, you cannot turn on electricity, because it's all controlled by the agency. Are you listening to this, preacher? Please do. Please listen to me before I close. Please hear the final moment. It's urgent. You're damned if you take the mark with God, and you're damned with the Antichrist if you don't. And that's your dilemma. Now here is what I want you to hear, this preacher. I hear people say this. I think it would be not only truthful but accurate. I hear it all the time. Don't talk to me about this fear of tribulation period. I'm not worried about it. A man said to me just when I was in Michigan, I'm not afraid. I said, why won't you give your heart to God tonight? He said, I don't have time tonight. I've got things to do. And besides, quote, I will lose my friends. And I said, sir, but you tell me you have fear of losing your friends here to serve Christ. But you tell me that you will have the courage to stand up against the hissing, murdering, torturing government and agents of Antichrist. Do you realize that the greatest slaughter of humanity in Revelation 16, in the period of the Antichrist that will take place on earth, will not be the slaughter by irreligious men? This slaughter, the greatest slaughter in the history of mankind, will be by religious men. Revelation 16 says that they will turn on those that have received Christ and they will murder them. I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus. They will be beheaded. They will hate you. And do you realize this hate is so rampant and so deep? Do you know why? Do you know why it is not only the desire, hear me, of the Antichrist to damn your soul to hell? He wants to humiliate you. He wants to pull you down. He wants to torture you. He wants to make you suffer. He wants to make you denounce Christ. He wants to make you recant. He wants to make you turn your back upon Jesus. And he will exercise every power he can of torture to persuade you. Hear me. You need to read Foxe's book of Martyrs. You need to read what haters of God do to lovers of God. You need to read the creative ways that they have of dismembering the body. You need to read Hebrews 11, that they threw them into dens of lions. They gored them with bulls. They sawed them in two. They tortured them. They pulled their bodies apart and dismembered them. They used every force of torture to get men to renounce Christ. And that's what will happen during the tribulation period.